The Yorkshire Ladies' Council of Education is a charitable organisation with over 140 years of history. The West Yorkshire Archive Service holds archives for the Council, which include a wide range of records, from committee minute books and annual reports to correspondence, leaflets and photographs covering the period of 1871 up to 2010. The Ladies' Council has its origins in the Ladies' Education Association, which was formed by a group of prominent Yorkshire women in 1866 to organise Cambridge Local Examinations, or CLEs. The CLEs were school-leaving examinations which allowed boys to sit external examinations at local centres without having to travel to the examination board. In 1868, girls were officially allowed to take the CLEs on the same basis as boys. There were few female candidates for the CLEs to start with, and they weren't well prepared, prompting the Ladies' Association to work to raise the standard of women's education in Yorkshire. The Ladies' Educational Association joined the Yorkshire Board of Education as a Ladies' Committee in 1870, which soon became the Ladies' Honorary Council for the board. In the spring of 1871, the Yorkshire Board of Education sponsored lectures on health and hygiene for working women. There had been concern about the state of sanitation and clean water provision in Leeds for a long time, and the Ladies' Council believed that working class women should understand why cleanliness was important. However, the lectures were delivered by a doctor and a lecturer and were too academic for the audience. More practical sessions were developed by the Ladies' Council and led by a female teacher. They were much more successful and drew audiences of over 100 women. During the sessions, there was a talk for an hour and then an informal discussion. Texts were lent for home study and there was a questionnaire to test understanding of each lesson. In 1874, the decision had been taken by the Ladies' Council that cookery classes should be provided for women and girls in an attempt to help the working class to raise their standards of hygiene and nutrition, and so, the Ladies' Council established the Yorkshire Training School of Cookery and Domestic Economy, affectionately known as the PUD School. The school provided lessons to ladies, children in elementary schools, and the wives and daughters of working men. Not long after, the Yorkshire Board of Education became the governing body of the Yorkshire College of Science, which would later become the University of Leeds, and was founded only for men. The Ladies' Association decided to reclaim its independence, and in January 1875, they renamed themselves the Yorkshire Ladies' Council of Education, which would later become incorporated in 1904. In 1879, a committee was formed for promoting the employment of women. The Yorkshire Bureau for the Employment of Women were to establish the Yorkshire Loan Training Fund, a fund which is still offered in a different way today by the Yorkshire Ladies' Council of Education. The inspiration for the fund came from a peculiar story of a plain governess in Manchester who had been bought a set of false teeth by philanthropists to enable her to improve her appearance and secure a good post. The Manchester Committee eventually formed a fund for the benefit of ladies who were unable to find employment because they needed either teeth or training. This prompted the Yorkshire Ladies' Council to campaign for their own fund, which would enable ladies to train as teachers and repay their loans out of later earnings. In 1901, a special committee for the fund was formed, circulars were distributed, and they agreed to organise a Grand Bazaar. The Grand Bazaar was held at Leeds Town Hall in November 1902. It was opened by the Duchess of Teck and lasted 4 days. The Ladies' Council hoped to raise £10,000 and managed to raise £9,300 of their goal, which is approximately just over £1 million in today's money. Of this sum, £8,000 went to establish the Yorkshire Loan Training Fund. £1,000 was given to the Gentlewomen's Employment Bureau in recognition of their help, and £300 went to the sponsor, the Yorkshire Ladies' Council of Education, out of which the council paid for its incorporation in 1904. The Yorkshire Loan Training Fund became independent of the Ladies' Council in 1903 and continued to function throughout both World Wars. It's recorded that 14 of the governors loyally attended their annual meeting, despite the fact that Leeds had been blitzed the night before. Since the early days of the fund, the loans have become grants for women in financial difficulty to support them in studying for a range of careers and at different levels of education, with the aim to help them become self-supporting. As well as education for women, the Ladies' Council were also passionate about improving the lives of mothers and babies. In 1909, the Honorary Secretary of the Yorkshire Ladies' Council of Education, Ena Kitson Clark, led the establishment of the Leeds Babies Welcome Clinics, sites where working-class mothers could take their newborns to be weighed, measured, inspected and monitored week by week. The Babies' Welcomes also offered one-to-one advice, a programme of talks on infant care and first aid, and practical demonstrations. In the first year of opening, 437 mothers had signed up to the Leeds Welcome. This initiative was urgently needed, as in the few years leading up to this, the highest rate of infant mortality ever was recorded, and in 1907 it was estimated that in the most deprived areas of Leeds, more than 1 in 5 babies died early, and stunted growth and limbs deformed by rickets were commonplace. The Leeds Babies' Welcome Association became independent from the Ladies' Council in 1913, and Ina became president of the association, serving for 19 years. The association itself provided its invaluable service for 65 years, continuing under the NHS until 1974. The charity has done an immeasurable amount of work to improve the lives of women, girls, and the elderly in Yorkshire, and there are a lot of events and initiatives that have not been touched upon in this video, including the establishment of a secretarial training school, the West Riding Nursing Association training for midwives, an occupation centre and social service club, a Meals on Wheels service, a residential home for the elderly, and so much more. If you are interested in finding out further information about the records that we hold at the West Yorkshire Archive Service, then please get in touch at leeds@wyas.org.uk. For more information about the current work of the Yorkshire Ladies' Council of Education, you can go to their website at www.ylce.org.